Okay, so these are going to be tutorials of how to kind of ad-lib what you would play for like tithe and offering, or actually it's what I play. These are just going to give you ideas of what you can play. But before we start, one thing when you're playing tithe and offering, or if you're ad-libbing during worship and it's just a keyboard, you just want to know your scales. You want to make sure you know your scale in every single key, and that's going to be your foundation. When you know your scales, you can play anything. There's no there's nothing that will hold you back because you know what notes you can hit. Just like in any key, there's going to be sharps and flats, whatever. In the key of C, obviously there's none, but other keys there are, and so you want to know what you can hit, when you can hit it, in the various keys that we play. So we're going to do I'm going to show you what I would play for tithe and offering in the keys of E, D, G, and C. The reason why we're doing these keys is because we do these keys all the time, like G for guys, sometimes for girls. D and E, and C. When you're learning piano, C should always be the first key you learn, and C is the easiest because there's no sharps or flats. It's very simple. So I'm going to start in the key of C. So I'm going to show you what I would do for ad-libbing. As you know, if you've watched me play, I always play my right hand on inversions of the key. So here's C. Obviously, here's your scale. Here's your major chord. So I have my thumb on the C and my pinky on that G. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this exact thing, but up here. So now my thumb's on that G and my pinky's on the C. What this does, for me, it's just a lot better as far as, it's just, I like it better. Instead of having to just do this, it's very predictable. Kind of always get the same sound here. It adds dissonance and it's fun. So what I do is I'll start, and a good tip is when you're doing tithe and offering and there's a video before you, what I'll do is I'll play my chord and I'll put my foot on the pedal, and you see my sounds all the way down. As soon as that video goes off, very quietly I'll go to the middle where it belongs, because instead of as soon as the video ends, that's going to disturb the congregation, and it might even disturb whoever's giving tithe and offering. So that's always something that you want to know, is to always make your presence very soft. So here, I already set my foundation. I held my C. Sometimes I'll roll it in. As you see, this is a canvas, so you want to paint your picture. So I started with my C. One thing I always do in every single key is I'll go to, I believe it is the fourth? Yeah. So I'll go to F now. I don't know, I'm sure you can hear this. I'll raise it up a little bit louder. Here, I'm going to do it again. Now go to F. See how very pretty and that is, and very soft, very delicate. And one thing with tithe and offering, it doesn't always have to be super busy. Like, I'll show you how to do all this stuff in a minute. I'm just giving you an example. You don't always, especially starting off, you don't want to start off busy. You want to start off very soft. Let whoever's giving tithe and offering kind of greet the congregation. Let them, so I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, it's kind of hard. You want to make sure that they're kind of getting a feel, and when you feel that whoever's giving tithe and offering is building, then you can build as well. But for the most part, try and keep it very open. Leave lots of space. What I'm doing is I'm going back and forth between my inversion and C. Things like that. So as far as what I'm doing with my right hand, I'm playing my scale. That's why I say you always want to know your scale. You always want to know your scale, because obviously I'm hitting only white keys. There's no black keys in the key of C. So this gives you your foundation. So like I said, this is your canvas. You don't always want to stay here. When you feel the need, you can go up a little bit higher. Play with octaves. So as far as the chord progression, I do C to F a lot. Key keep it open. And then if you want to do a walk down would be A minor, so just A with your left, to G, to F. You can do it again. Go back to C. All it is very fluid. You don't see me doing this like you would chicken peck on a keyboard. This is very fluid. Everything you do is fluid. Fingers, you always want to like practice at home. Make sure you practice your fingers because it's just all fluid motion. So I'm going to show you again exactly what I would play. Here's an example. So I'm going to start. This is me starting Tithe and Offering. Video just ended. Very soft. You think it's quiet up here, but the sound person will have it loud enough out there for them. You're just very quiet, very open. Because usually whoever's doing Tithe and Offering will be very quiet first. And when you hear them build in their voice, you always want to be led. You want to follow the leader. So they're building. And then start to go down again. Then you can do your walk down. See what I'm doing here? I'm repeating myself. Helpful tip: if you mess up, don't stop. Just keep going. Take your foot off the pedal and keep playing. Also, what I like to do is I'll go to that A minor here, so that A, and I'll hold it for 4 counts. Go to the F. It almost sounds like the verse to every time. It's the exact same thing I'm doing in the key of C. It's different, you know, instead of just doing C to F, you can do A minor to F. And then if you want to do something else, one thing you could do is go to this G, kind of to start fresh, and then go back to that C. You just see my fingers kind of just, and you'll see my thumb, it completes. It's like everything is following each other. Everything completes each other. You'll see the thumb. Everything's very fluid. One thing also is you always want to know a song for reference to play. Like a good one is All In. So the chords for All In the key of C would be A minor to F to C to G. And then another thing is you could also play the melody if you know the melody. But you don't want to play it very obvious because then it's like, oh, you know. You want to kind of hide it, disguise it. Play the right chord, sorry. And so just instead of playing like the C to F, you can play the key of All In, or the chords of All In. Also, one thing I like to play a lot is now that we do All Who Are Thirsty or Pastor Cher's I Love You tag. That's something that I play all the time now, so I love you. Just always good to play something different, like a melody. So what I was doing was C to F, A minor to F. Also, All Who Are Thirsty. I was going to play the verse. Let me show you the chorus of All Who Are Thirsty. Things like that. So that's the key of C. That's all things key of C. That is something you can play for tithe and offering as far as like a progression. There's also all in there. There is All Who Are Thirsty. There's the I Love You tag. You just have so many options, but one thing that you always want to have as foundation is to know your scales. Like the back of your hand. With your eyes closed, know what notes you can hit in every key that you're playing in. So that's something that you can take home and practice. And you don't feel obligated to play exactly what I play. I encourage you guys to really go home and practice your own stuff. Have an ear for what sounds good. Have an ear for if you're hitting a wrong note. Make sure you're training yourself to hear things. Things that aren't, because I used to be in the habit of playing things that almost sound like I was going to a funeral. You want to play things that will set the mood and help the congregation engage, because you are a huge tool in this ministry. So keyboardists, really go home and practice. So that's the key of C.